Welcome to We Are the People with Tracy Marks and Jorge Estamba, who ask you to know what's happening with your student loan. Tracy and Jorge keep a deep look at student loans in this country and the industries that surround it. Every week, We Are the People will bring you new insight into the corporate welfare industry, such as bailouts, and they connect with student loans. The show will highlight on your constitutional rights and how the current system is built to infringe upon them. Join the conversation by visiting our website chat room at wearethepeople.tv. Or call the show at 888-565-1470 and let us hear from you. And now, let's tune in to Tracy and Jorge for this week's discussion.
Hello everyone, my name is Schimeon Frederick. I'm here for Tracy Marks today. I'm the owner of Trusted Debt Solutions here in Boca Raton, Florida, and we actually help tons of people with their student loans and help them with their consolidation. What got me into the business was actually my wife. She had student loans. It was really crippling us to make these payments on a monthly basis, and I figured there had to be a way to help. For those of you that don't know, and you probably do know, if you're listening to the station, student loans right now are really crippling Americans. We talk to hundreds and hundreds of people daily who are having problems taking care of these student loans and staying on track with them. We had that similar situation. We were in default with the loans, and we found a way to consolidate them, and we were able to get the affordable payment. So since then, I said, you know what? There's a lot of people in America with this problem. When I spoke to colleagues and friends, they all had similar situations. But no one really knew about the problem, about the solutions that were out there. So we did some research on the solutions, and we have a lot of solutions, basically the William D. Ford Act. Now, if you know about it, if you don't know about it, what it is, the act put in place to make it so that your student loans can be affordable. Today, what we're going to do is we're just going to go over some of the basics on the William D. Ford Act, and then I'm going to take some calls and see what you have to say and maybe help you out with some of the situations that you're in. All right. So the William D. Ford Act has been in effect for a while, but it was amended back in 2010. And what it is when you first took out your loans, the payment was based on the amount that you borrowed, along with whatever interest rate they decided to give you. And most of you that are in college, you have several student loans. What we're able to do now through the William D. Ford Act is able to consolidate the loans into one payment and also give you a lower interest rate. So what we're going to do here shortly is open up the lines. The number that I'd like you to call into, I have the number written here, is 888-565-1470. So if you have any questions or concerns about the student loans, let me know. In the meantime, we'll talk about some of the things that you would know if you did some research on the William D. Ford Act. One of the payment plans that you can get into is called an income-based repayment plan. And believe it or not, that's the one that we put a lot of people in. You qualify if you make less than the amount that the government feels that you should make to pay off your student loans. So a lot of times, if let's say if you have a loan of $50,000, generally speaking, the payment for that loan is about 1%, so you'll be paying about $500 a month. What we're able to do is consolidate those loans, make it into one loan, but the payment that you'll have to pay or the obligation that you'll have will be based on not your credit and other factors, but it'll be based on the amount that you can actually afford to pay. Now, once you're enrolled into this program, there's a certain length of time that you have to be in the program. If you're in, a lot of times it's 25 years. If you're a public service person, like a firefighter, a nurse, or a teacher, then you can get in the public service loan forgiveness program, which will shorten that term. But for the average person, you're looking at 25 years. The cool part about it is this. Let's say you're a family of four. You're making about $35,000 a year, and you have about $50,000 in loans. What this will do is this will allow you to consolidate your loans, and you'll probably qualify for what's called a zero payment. And what that means is that For the length of the time that you're in this program, which would be 25 years, your payment will be zero for the first year, and then every year they check your income tax to see where you are financially. If you see that your income hasn't changed much and you're still below that line, then your payment will be zero again for the following year. And they'll do that year after year for each subsequent year for the 25 years. The cool part is this. It doesn't matter how much you actually pay into it. Let's say if one year you shoot up and you make 50 grand and your payments happen to be $100 for that year, but then it goes back down to zero. At the end of 25 years, the remainder of the loan will be forgiven. Now, that's just one of the programs that are out there. There's also the graduated program. What the graduated program allows you to do is it actually gives you a lower payment at the beginning, and every 2 years, it goes up incrementally for the remainder of the loan. The good thing about that, and why that works a lot for families, is because as you start going on in time and you're paying these loans back, they figure you have a family, you're a young family starting out, you may not be able to afford as much, but as you mature and the children get out of the house, you have more disposable income, and then the loan amount or the obligation that you have will increase accordingly. And there's other programs out there as well. There's income contingent program, there's the standard repayment program, and these programs aren't just designed for people that don't have the means to pay them. We have people that call in that have more than enough money to pay their loans. However, when we put them in this program, their obligation is less. So let's say because we're able to get them a lower interest rate, or through the consolidation for some reason, they're able to get a lower payment. So let's say if you can afford the $500 a month, and we put you into one of these programs, your obligation becomes $300 a month. Now you're saving $200 a month. You can take that additional $200 a month and you can put it toward the principal only of that payment. And when you do that, it actually gets rid of your loans a lot faster. All right, we're opening the phone line for any calls. If anybody wants to call in, we can. One of the things that we've also learned is that there's over $3 trillion worth of student loan debt out there right now. $3 trillion, that's a lot of money. And a lot of those are in default. We come across people often who have problems with the tax return or garnishment. Some of the things that what we found is that a lot of people don't take the debt as real debt. Like when you get a car loan or a home loan, there's something tangible that they can take from you. Here, once you finish school, a lot of people are disgruntled because maybe they're not in the field that they wanted to be or just can't plain afford it. This is a real debt. And the thing about federal student loan debt is it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't go anywhere. So whether you do bankruptcy or anything else, the debt stays with you. So a lot of people say, hey, you know what? I can't afford it right now. I'll put it in forbearance or I'll put it in deferment. The servicer, the group that services your debt, they would love to put you in forbearance or in deferment because the loan amount still stays there and it's accumulating interest the entire time. So that's another thing that this consolidation will help you do is restructure the loans so that you're not accumulating as much interest and you're actually working toward a solution rather than expanding the loan and having the principal amount be increased by the interest for the times that you can't afford to pay. I think I hear a caller coming in. Maybe not. Anyway, so what we're able to do in this case is be able to get people back on track with these loans, whether you have a garnishment, whether your tax return is being seized, etc. Do we have a caller? No? Okay. Whether your tax returns are being seized. So right now, oh, there is a caller. All right. Caller, who do we have? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, hi. Who am I speaking with?
Hi. This is Rick Stroll. I sometimes host the program.
Okay, how are
To
you?
talk to you about me. I'm doing as well as I can be, considering the VA has been trying to get rid of me for quite some time.
Okay.
I'm just out of the hospital.
Okay.
And I don't know. I know she's talked to you somewhat about my situation, which basically I've been in default. I have well over $100,000 in loans and never been able to find the jobs that I was promised
Wow.
would support repayment of those loans. And now, because of my hardship, my illness, I'm out of work altogether.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm glad you called in. There is a program that actually works for you, and it's called a disability discharge. Are you 100% disabled?
Starting tomorrow, I'm going to work on that because I'm going to go over to Social Security Administration and get the paperwork.
Okay.
I've already talked to my doctors over at the VA,
Right.
who say that my background supports that.
All right. Wonderful. Now, here's another question. Are you currently being garnished in any way, or is it just in default?
Not currently, because I was out of work for a couple of years. Prior to that, I was garnished.
Okay.
But when you're not working, you can't garnish anything.
Yeah. And so right now you have zero income. So based on that, you would qualify for an IBR, income-based program, where at least while you're getting the 100% disability paperwork taken care of, you can actually have zero payment or zero obligation so that you're not going further into default and there's no other action, and you're not earning those high interest rates that you currently have. If you have a pen, I'll give you the number. We have agents that are sitting by right now to help out. If you'd like, the number is 888-592-7079. Again,
888-592-7079.
Yep, 888-592-7079. All of our agents are licensed, bonded, and insured, and they're very educated, and they'll be able to help you out however we can.
So how do we, once I make that call, what are we doing as far as the process is concerned?
Well, the first part of the process is they're going to do a free analysis. They're going to pull your loans and actually take a look at what status your loans are in with the Department of Education. At that point, they're going to put you into the calculator and really make sure that you fit all of these other criteria. And from there, they'll give you a free presentation that will let you know exactly what to expect, etc. And then they'll walk you through the process through there. We make it extremely easy. And again, the people that pick up the other end of that phone are extremely educated on this and always there to help.
So what do you need from me? Just my Social Security number or more information than that?
Well, there's some personal information that they're going to need, but most importantly, to start out with, we just need your loan information, and they'll ask you some income information, etc. And from there, they'll go through the process. If it is something that we can help you with, then they'll ask for the other personal information as well.
Okay.
All right.
And how long does this process take to actually get something to happen?
All right. Well, the initial process, the consultation usually takes about 15 to 20 minutes on the phone. After that, the consolidation usually takes about 90 days or so. However, they make sure that they're going to put you in a forbearance at the beginning so that all the action that you have going on right now will stop while we're working on consolidating the loans for you. The best thing for you to do, though, is to really call one of the enrollment specialists at that 888-592-7079 phone number, and they'll be able to walk you through that.
Now, what is this going to end up costing me?
Well, it varies. So, I mean, you would have to call in, and it would, based on your situation, the cost varies. So, they'll be able to help you at that number, though. All right.
Okay.
Thank you for calling in. Hello. Next caller.
Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Hey, how you doing?
All right, who's speaking?
My name is Jason.
How you doing, Jason?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm wonderful. What do we got?
I'm calling from Baltimore, Maryland. My wife and I, we have about 2 children, and she is just swamped with this school debt. I'm trying to see what options exist, and I don't even want to give her name on the radio because she'd probably kill me if she knew I was calling into a radio.
I got you. Yeah. Well, Jason, thank you for calling in. There's several options. It depends on the earned income of the household. You said you have 2 dependents. Is that correct?
Yes.
And how much do you have out, or does your wife have out in loans?
Oh, she definitely has out loans.
How much about?
I'm going to say about $75,000.
Whoa, $75,000. All right, yeah. So it sounds like, if it depends on how much you're making. If your average is around $35,000 or somewhere around there, we can probably get you a very low payment. What's your obligation right now? Do you know?
I don't know what her obligation is. I'm thinking somewhere around $1,100 a month or something.
Oh, wow.
Ridiculous.
Well, look, let me tell you this, Jason. You call that phone number. Again, there's agents sitting by. I'm sure we can get you a lot less than that. We've run into people all the time that are paying these higher amounts because, again, when you take out the loans, they're not taking anything in consideration in regards to what your payment will be, except them getting their money back. So call that number, 888-592-7079, and they can help you with that. Thanks for your call, Jason.
All right. Thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Well, that's 2 scenarios right there that shows you or gives a snapshot of what's going on in America right now. We hear tons of stories, and I'm so happy that we're able to help so many people on a daily basis really manage their student loan debt. One of the things that I like to discuss is some of the things where we're heading with student loans. I know that there's a bill on the floor right now that will make it so that when you take out your student loans moving forward, you'll automatically be put into an IBR program or an income-based program, which would actually help a lot of people, out of this situation. For those of you that have had your tax return seized, you should definitely give us a call because we may be able to help you with that. Garnishment, that's another real issue. If you don't pay your loans and you go into default, then you'll end up in garnishment. Once you're in garnishment, it's a longer process to get you out of it. It used to be a time where we can just consolidate you out of garnishment, but now they're going to continue to garnish your wages. We're going to put you into a repayment program, which lasts usually around 9 months. And then after the repayment program, then we can do the consolidation. So if you're in default, it's very important that whether you call us or you go online and do it yourself, you can do it yourself. Whether you call us, another company, or go and do it yourself, you really need to take care of it, especially if you're in default, because the next step after that is garnishment. And that's a real bad situation to be in because you have to pay the garnishment. They're going to be garnishing your wages. On top of that, you'll have to pay the amount for the repayment plan, whatever that is. And then for 9 months, they'll be pulling your money and you'll be making those payments before you can even consolidate. So I urge people, if you have default letters or if you know you haven't been paying on your loans, then, take the time and really find out your options. Again, we give a free consultation at my office, and there's several other companies out there that do the same. And there's also resources on the internet that you can go to as well. So, the next thing on the list of things to do is talk about some of the other solutions that are out there for the student loans. All right. Once you consolidate and you have that taken care of, then you're able to go back to school. So if there's other people that are looking to go to school and maybe perhaps you can't go back to school because your student loans are in default or, you're being garnished, once you finish the consolidation program, you will be able to continue education. Now, we also get calls from people that are looking to sue their schools because I guess they didn't get, the education that they thought, or, they lost accreditation or whatever. That's a whole different process. There's other people out there that you need to contact for that. We only help with federal student loans. If you have private student loans, we're working on programs to do that as well. But a lot of people that have a mixture of federal and private student loans, actually by taking care of their federal student loans and getting that to a lower payment, it really allows them to focus in and really knock down the principal amount of their private student loans to get that out of the way. Once you're done with the consolidation on our end, you're going to be put with another servicer. The servicer is the group that's going to service your account, like a Sally Mae or Nelnet or some of those other services that are out there. Those services are the ones that you communicate with to make your payments and, put in forbearance and things of that nature. Whoever your servicer is now may or may not be the same servicer that you have once the consolidation is complete. But one of the things is that you get to choose who your servicer is on the other end. When you're talking about taking out your loans, there's a lot of things that you really want to take into consideration when really looking at your loans. A lot of times when we're going to school, we're just gung-ho. We're like, let's go. And we're not really taking into consideration what the repayment is or what interest rate we're going to have or anything of that nature. So, you really want to start asking those questions because the loans do have to be repaid. Also, it's not a long-term, it's not a solution to go. I've been to college. I have several friends that have been to college, and a lot of times what they do with the loans is they use it for other things outside of the books and things of that nature. What I'm telling people is to try to keep your loan amount down to the minimum. I think we have another caller. Hold on.
Yes, hi. This is Steve.
Did you say Steve?
Yes, hi.
Hi, Steve. How are you?
I'm doing fine. My question is, I have a number of school loans totaling around, let's say, $40,000, and last year the IRS kind of took my returns, and I think for the last 2 years they've been doing it. So now it's like, what are my options going into this year, so and beyond, so I can kind of take care of that problem, man.
Right. Yeah. We hear a lot about this, Steve. One of the things about the student loans is when they start taking your tax returns and things of that, like people that we speak to, they take the tax returns, and believe it or not, their loan balance never goes down because the money goes to the interest first. So I understand the situation that you're in, and a lot of times the amount that people are getting seized from their tax return is actually a substantial amount that could knock down a good portion of the principal amount of the payment. What we would say is this. If you give us a call, we can work with you to, you're going to ask you to, of course, have your tax attorney or whoever you use, H&R Block, involved as well. And what you want to do is you want to put an extension for your taxes for this year. All right? And let us look at your loans and see if we can get you consolidated so that you're not in default anymore. Once you're not in default and that's all cleared up, and then you can put in your taxes, and when you receive your tax, at that point you will receive your tax return.
Oh, okay.
All right. So, I'm not sure. Did you file your taxes for this year already? Steve, you still there? You still there, Steve?
Sorry, I got a bad connection. I kept cracking up. I didn't hear. Can you say that again?
I said, have you filed your taxes for this year already?
No, I haven't just yet.
All right. Won't you give a call to, we have agents online. Give a call at 888-592-7079. And maybe someone there will be able to help you and, walk you through the process. And we're still inviting calls into the station, everyone. Let me give you that number, which is 888-565-1065. 888-565-1470. That's 888-565-1470. Got that, Steve? I think Steve's gone. All right, good. So the next thing we want to do is we're going to take a break here in a few minutes. We're going to have a couple of our sponsors come on, tell you a little bit about their services, and we'll be back in a minute to finish talking about student loan consolidation and student loan debt.
Little Joe never once gave it away.
You have been listening to We Are the People with social advocates Tracy Marks and Jorge Estamba, who every week bring to the light the needs and changes in our current system. Tune in every Monday night at 7 p.m. on wearethepeople.tv and participate in the conversation in the chat room or call 888-565-1470. Tune in next Monday for more information and facts. And Tracy and Jorge remind you to stay aware of your surroundings and challenges at all times.